Are your Nikon D3400 photos looking soft or not as sharp as you would want? In today's video, I'm going to share with you settings that you can dial in today so that you can get razor sharp photos straight out of the camera. Hi, my name is Carbell and I help you take amazing pictures and videos with whatever equipment that you own right now. So if you want to upgrade your skills, photography, both shooting, editing, consider subscribing. Let's jump into the video. The first thing you want to do is, number one, you want to change the image quality. By default, the camera shoots in JPEG, but you want to change that to RAW right away. RAW gives you so much flexibility and it gives you the chance to be able to take your pictures looking good in the camera and even enhance it further in your whichever photo editing app that you use. To change that, you go to the shooting menu, you navigate to image quality and you change from either basic or normal to RAW, or even RAW plus JPEG if you want extra flexibility. Number two, if you are not yet so comfortable with shooting in manual, I suggest you shoot in aperture priority. Aperture priority is as close to manual as it gets. What happens here is that you set your aperture and probably your ISO, and the camera would automatically adjust the shutter speed to help you get the best lit and possible image. That way, right in the camera, you get an image that looks very well exposed. So if you have the kit lens, what you can do is that with the aperture priority, you can set it depending on the context you find yourself in. If you're shooting crowd, you can do say f4. If you're shooting a single person, you can shoot at the highest possible aperture, which in this kit lens will probably go from 3.5 to somewhere f5.6. But hey, that's an amazing job. Right on the mode dial, you have a couple of options on there. Make sure you switch until the A for aperture priority is selected on your Nikon D3400. The next step is for shutter speed. Now, the rule of thumb here is that you want to have your shutter speed twice the focal length. So for instance, if you're shooting with a 50mm lens, you want to have your minimum shutter speed to be say 100, that is 2 times of 50. If you're shooting at 35, the minimum should be 2 times of that, but that is just the rule of thumb and that is just the minimum. I would advise that if you're in an outdoor situation, the minimum you should shoot for your shutter speed should be say 200, so you can at least get super sharp images regardless of the movement that is happening. But if you're in a super say sporty environment, you can crank the shutter speed all the way up so that you can actually freeze the frame and get the kind of sharp images that you're looking out for. This camera is an old camera and it's a crop sensor. The ISO situation is okay, it's very manageable actually, but what you want to do, okay, is to keep your ISO as low as possible. And like Nikon D3400 takes super amazing photos when you are shooting in outdoor session. It takes very good images, because with that one you can keep the ISO low. The rule of thumb is keep the ISO as low as possible, and if you're in a situation where you can use extra light, artificial light, please go ahead and do. If not, if you're in a low light situation, these cameras don't really perform very well. When that one, you might have to crank up your ISO and you might introduce noise into your image. And finally, the focus mode. Now if you're doing an indoor session or say a portrait session where the person is actually not moving around in the scene, what you want to do is you want to set it to autofocus single. That way, if you have press or you try to focus, it will lock in on the person's eye because the person is not trying to go front and back. So that way you lock in and you can get the sharpest looking image. But if you're in a situation where the person is actually moving, or in a sports situation, or maybe a speaker, then in that case you can try to use autofocus continuous. That way, the camera tries its best to lock the focus and keep tracking the person as the person is moving. But if not, the person is single, like the way I'm seated right now, there is no, it just makes sense to shoot an autofocus single so that you can just lock in, and then when you press, you capture the sharpest looking image without the camera trying to breathe in here and there. These tips will help you nail sharp images right out of your camera. But if you're interested in learning how to expose your images and the mistakes to avoid, I have the video that I made right here. If you click on that video, it will show you how to do that so that you can expose your images for the best quality. Check out that one. Catch you in the very next video. Peace.